Welcome back to We're Talking Bears, where uncle, nephew, and son bring you the latest and greatest in the Chicago Bears experience.
That's the
Week
greatest right here.
12,
That's the greatest.
the greatest for sure. Week 12 recap. Bears versus Vikings in the hometown at Soldier Field. A disappointing loss once again, but not the same. Not the same team. We look different.
Look different.
I
Look
don't
different.
know. I don't know totally. It's hard to say that we're trending in the right direction. It's hard to always have this optimistic view when we want to win. You know what I mean? And this week was not a win. 5 losses now in a row. I think that is for us, and it's been tough. It's been tough. So I don't know. How are you feeling about the game, Monk? I know we were discussing it. I've seen some good things. What are you feeling?
Well, you know what? Honestly, the good news is I don't feel bad. But is it that I don't feel bad because my expectations have fallen so much?
Yes. Yes, that is the reason. That is the reason. It's the
um,
only way to be happy about a loss. The moral victories.
yeah, I think I'll say this. I, I don't like losing. You know that. But if I'm gonna lose, I need to be in it the whole route. You know what I mean? I don't. If I'm gonna lose, I literally want to go up against somebody better than me. I had this as as a grown man. I was doing martial arts, as you knew, in my 40s, and my first match at a tournament, this dude kicked my butt. He kicked me in the head right here 12 times, 10 in the first round, 10 in the first round right there.
Yep.
Dude, I didn't know I was dizzy. Okay. My eye was red for 3 days. I had a headache for 7. Had to be a concussion, right? But point being is he was just better than me.
Right.
It took me a full round getting kicked 10 times in the head to even understand how to even consider getting away from his kick. He's kicking his axe kick and he's just wearing me the heck out. Whoop, bam, whoop, bam. And it's like I wasn't I wasn't mad I lost to this guy. He was better than me, you
Right.
know. Um, and I felt good that like out of everybody that fought him, he won our age division. Really was grown man age division. So it basically was like from 21 on up. He won the
Right.
whole thing. He won our age and class division, and it was like, I'm like, okay, at least the guy that beat everybody else beat me.
Right.
you know,
Right.
you know. So I didn't feel so bad. When I feel bad is when I know I could have won, or I know that I should be, or I know I'm competitive with a dude, and I look back over it and I say I haven't given my all. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? There's something I know where like man, I didn't do the thing. Like I'm terrible at basketball, as you know, but if I don't get rebounds, like I can get rebounds. If I
Right.
get no rebounds, I'm like, I'm mad I lost. Because I'm like, all right, I may not be a good shooter, but doggone it, in the post, I'm gonna wear you out. I'm gonna get that rebound. I don't care if you're taller than me, I don't care what, you know.
Right.
So that's kind of how I feel. So this is one of those games where the Vikings were better than us.
Well, you
you
know
know,
what?
they
You
were.
know, I completely understand that, and that was a great story that you just gave us. However, I feel a little bit differently in this instance because this is a team sport, and I definitely believe that you can be against an opponent who's better than you, especially individually, and know that all right, there's some things I need to work on to be on this level to be able to win against the competition I'm facing. But for me, where the difficulty lies with the Bears in this loss, and it's not that I don't agree with you. That I saw some positive things in the game as well. But the issue I have is that we just lost to the Patriots. I didn't feel like the Patriots were better than us. We
No,
lost
no.
to the Commanders. I didn't feel like the Commanders were better than us. But I feel like there's this thing in competition that when you lose, you don't get to say you're better. And when you win, mysteriously, you're better. And I just think that this was a game that I felt like, even though I can agree, if you say that the Vikings are better than us, I would debate it, but I have to accept it. We lost, but I believe this was a game in watching it that we could have won.
It
Yeah, there
was
were some
winnable.
things that we needed to do differently. Of course, with all losses, you look back and you say, okay, there are some things that we needed to do differently in order to get that W. But I don't think this was the issue of us just being outmatched. I don't think that that's what it was. but like I said, I did see some good things. The thing that I was saying earlier, and I stand by, when we lost those 3 games that I said weeks back on, we're talking Bears, the 3 games leading after our bye, leading into the division games. The Commanders, I think it was the Cardinals, and then the Patriots. And I said I wanted to win all of those, and I said at least 2 out of 3. Now, had we won those games, I would have been more confident about us going into the division. But even though we're talking Bears, we spoke about we weren't ready and how we weren't playing up to our potential. We got rid of Waldron, which I think was good for us. Actually, it's looking good that
And
we made
substantially
that
good.
change. Absolutely. But had we won those games, my attitude about going into the division would have been different, because some of the teams that we've played against and teams that we've fared well against, the other guys in our division didn't necessarily do a better job against them than we did. Now, there's some games they won against teams that beat us, but before those 3 games, we had, I think, 2 losses? Do we have 1 loss or 2
Yeah,
losses?
we were rolling. We were 4-2.
We were rolling, and to see that we had a chance to beat the Packers, this game were close. So now there's 2 games against our division matchups where it's like, well, what makes you all better than us? Had we
Well,
beat you and had we beat teams that we're supposed to beat, we would be the top dogs right now. You
well,
get what I'm
think
saying?
about it. That offensive line. I mean, especially when it comes to field goal protection. 2 weeks in a row in tight games, we couldn't protect the kicker. Let him get the kickoff.
Right.
You know, even one of the kicks that he got, it was just split between guys that were running free. You know, it could have been blocked. The one that he got to near the end of the fourth, it was pretty nasty. It was there was purple everywhere. They just didn't happen to get the ball.
Yeah.
You know, so that's a huge. When you're talking about tight games, man, you're giving up. You can't protect the field goal kicker in a tight game.
I
You
agree.
got problems. You got, and I mean, we just have too many problems, and too many of our problems are fixable or shouldn't be. That's where I get frustrated. That's my frustration. You know, you hired the wrong coach. Why? How come you haven't figured out how to hire a coach and hire the right guy? What's wrong with your interview process? Um, when you hired the wrong coach and you brought 2 guys in and you saw that this dude is something must have told you that the guy that's running it now looked better than the guy that was running it before. Why are you going to wait till the air's out of the season? If you had fired him when we were 4-2, we might have come through those 3 games with W's.
Right.
This offense is. I mean, we gave up 30 points. We gave up 27 in regular. Normally, when we give up almost 30 points, we're not in a game. That's not us. Quarterback throws. What did he throw? Quarterback
32,
throws
47,
47 times, 32
200 plus.
completions. But we get 340 yards, 2 TDs, no picks, no fumbles. And we're in the game. 27-27 at the end of regulation. That's not normal Bears football.
It's not.
Okay. That's we're playing some, it's not a blowout when the defense didn't disappear, but the defense didn't win that for us. They definitely didn't win it for us. You think about our defense normally gives up 21 or less. So they gave up an extra 6 points during regulation, and we saw it because we got gashed in the run at the beginning of the game for sure. And then we were getting gashed late in the game with these long, deep passes that we were getting gashed on. Jordan Addison, what did he have? It was nasty. Jordan Addison doggone murked us for 162 on 8 catches and a TD. TJ Hawkinson, 114, 7 catches. And Aaron Jones, 108 on the ground, 4.8 a carry and a TUDDY. I mean, that's not a Bears defensive performance. To let 3 guys go off,
Right.
that's a problem. Sometimes somebody leaks out, but we let 3 guys go the heck off. Not good. Not good at all.
And that was you know what I think is the most disappointing thing for me with the Bears is that we get these flashes and we get these hopeful moments in games and seasons, and it's just like a redundant, recurring thing. I think about I was really excited at the end of the game, the heart that these guys showed, being down 14 in the fourth and coming back. And when DJ got in for that first touchdown, and we were just down 7, that was nice. It was good to see. But what's kind of disappointing is that as soon as we get to OT, mysteriously we fall apart. Penalties and things, and we end up third and 27. We even get
Caleb
a delay
takes a
of game
stupid
penalty
sack,
after
throw
being
the
back
ball
20
away.
yards. We lose an extra 7, 10, whatever many more yards it was. I think it was third and 17 or second and 17, and we get another penalty or whatever it was, and ended up being third and 26. And it's like, come on, guys, you just had a amazing end to the fourth quarter to get back in this game, and
Then
now all of a
you got
sudden the offense goes back to what it looked like before, making silly mistakes, and incurring penalties, and then the defense just fails to be able to get off the field like they just did to get us there in OT. And so that's the part that I have a hard time understanding. It's like, are we
and
that team from the fourth quarter, or are we that team from overtime? Who
I
are we?
call that heart, and we're clearly the team from overtime, which is why we've got so many doggone losses. We're it's terrible, man. It's terrible. 4-7, 7 losses on the season. But we're that team from overtime because time and time again we leak. The offense, like you said, offense fell apart. Offense needed one more good drive, and we're good. We fell apart. Starting with Caleb. Caleb took that massive sack. Hey man, you back there, they done blocked you up for 5-6 seconds. Throw the ball away.
Right.
Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. You need to stop. Step past the hash and throw the ball away, man. What are you doing? Then it just starts going downhill. I mean, like you said, penalties. Come on. We can't afford that. You got the ball in overtime. You scored TUDDY as yours.
Right.
And we can't seem to. And then we almost got the ball back from them, but then they became like a 9-2 team. They looked like a 9-2 team in overtime. They're like, we marching down here, we're scoring, we out. It's like, did you give me the ball? And all I got to do is score and we win. See ya.
Right.
Enjoy. Um, let's talk about our receivers, man. Our guys, they're playing some ball out there. They first of all, Caleb, man, Caleb, it looks like a second-year guy. He doesn't look like a rookie anymore.
He looks
I
like the guy
remember there was
we wanted him to be from Jump Street, and the guy that we drafted. And I believe it
yeah,
has a whole lot to do with the change and getting Waldron out of there. I
oh yeah,
definitely
Waldron was terrible. The play calling was terrible. Here we have a guy who accepts that we don't have much of an offensive line, so that we have to call quick, short plays. And not having much of an offensive line, Briggs was talking about this. Look, when you know you can't protect your quarterback, as a defense, I don't have to play a double move. So I only have to play your first move. So now, as an offensive coordinator, you got to put that hat on that I got to call plays that get my guys open on their first move. This is DJ Moore, Rome Odunze, Keenan Allen, and Cole Kmet as your primaries, and then Swift out of the backfield. They all have, well, not Odunze doesn't have film, but everybody else has film for years in their career on when they broke open on their first move. That you got to go with that because you're not going to get a double move off. You don't have enough time to protect. So you have to you're calling these long, slow plays. You need to look at this. Hey, boom. Keenan wins on slants. Bam. Rome is a beast on a jump ball. Bam. Okay. You've got. Let's do it. Let's do it. Drop back, hike, throw the jump ball.
right.
DJ can get deep so fast it's crazy. Like it's a single move post. But how do you get 30 yards in 2 seconds?
Right.
He said, does he have a warp speed button or something? He's doomed. His DJ gone.
Right.
But you know that. So like when this is the type of thing, and this is what our new coordinator, he's making good calls to get our guys into where they're good. Just look at our guys on the year. Cole Kmet, 32 catches, 358, and 3 touchdowns. It's an okay year for him. It's about his average. Okay. Um, he's not challenging for his best year ever because honestly, Waldron hurt him all. But he could get up there. His best year was 7 touchdowns, and his best year receiving was 719 yards. He should end somewhere in that mix, which that's good for a tight end, especially with the people we got. Keenan Allen, we're just learning to use him. 30 catches, 282, and 2 touchdowns. So we're just learning to use Keenan Allen. These aren't counting today's numbers. This is just what they were, where they were going into the day. But we're just learning to use Keenan Allen. DJ, 460 and 3 touchdowns, 47 catches. So DJ, hopefully, especially after today, will end somewhere around 1,000 yards. He had a 100-yard day today, so he's really at 600 yards. So Keenan and DJ, they need to. We got to feed Keenan. Rome is actually having an incredible rookie year. 34 catches, 479, and a touchdown. Again, that's not counting today. Today, Rome went ahead and added to that another 40 yards. So he's building. Swift, when you look at Swift, it's a little different. He's having a decent year now running. He started off so slow. It was so bad. He's run for 635 at this point. And 5 touchdowns, which he can be near. His best year ever was his rookie year with 8 touchdowns. His best year on yards is 1,049. It's possible he has his best year, period, running the ball. That would be something to say. Roshan, we're not really getting him to rock much. He's only got 137 on yards on 46 attempts, but he's got 5 touchdowns. This kid is probably going to have a 10-touchdown year, and that would be amazing. I want to see him at least hit 400 or 500 yards. We got to give him the ball a little more, but he's the touchdown machine, and if that's his job, that's where you get points. Get him in there. Get him in there. How you feeling about that group?
Man, I'm liking it, and I'm liking that. Like you said, it seems like they're learning how to use these guys because we have weapons, and that's all it is. If you like exactly what you said, if you're not able to protect your quarterback for that long, you have to design plays that get these guys open early. And I feel like he was doing a very good job of that. A lot of times snapping the ball and throwing screens out to the side, but not overdoing it, letting it work. And then I remember the one play DJ tried to make a pass. His throw wasn't the greatest, but just mixing it up. You got to keep the defense honest, and things like that allow you to go to the screen game and not have to worry about the defense just sitting on it when you become redundant. And we know, like, all right, all your players are going to be in the same vicinity. You're going to throw the ball to the same area. You don't have anything else going on. So I was excited about it. I completely agree that group of guys is coming along. I feel like this coordinator we have now knows how to use our weapons and use what we are good at, and kind of stay away from the weak points and not allow the defense to attack us. Excuse me. In our weaknesses. So I'm excited about that. I just want to be able to put it all together, man. It's crazy to think that we were talking about how the defense doesn't give up more than 21, and if the offense can score more than 21, we can win. And now when the offense scores more than 21, the defense gives up 30. It's like we need to have everybody on one accord. And I don't know if it's I know Brisker hasn't come back. I don't know. Maybe we're missing that guy out there, and maybe he would make a difference in the way that they were able to pass the ball around on us today, especially down the stretch. But I know back to the game, man, and getting off the field on third down, like we gotta have it. We gotta have it. We gotta have it. Gotta be able to get off the field.
Brisker's been out a long time. He had that concussion. And the problem is with the concussion is when you get the second concussion or second major hit while you have not healed from the initial concussion. That's what they're protecting them for. That's what they didn't protect a lot of guys from. And a lot of guys had CTE, and some died of it, and some just had really bad quality of life. But it's not the initial concussion, as they found, that really, really racks you or causes long-term brain damage. I'm not saying it's zero, but the most significant injury comes when your brain is still sore from a concussion, and then you take another major hit,
Yeah.
then there seems to be some long-term damage that happens. So it's good. It's good that they're protecting him. That's important. His life is more important than football. His quality of life is more important than football. At the same time, this kid, his career may be near over. Because if it takes 8-9 weeks to heal, you might, especially the way he plays tough, plays hard-nosed football, great. Um, but he's flying in there. He's going to take a few more, and his body may just not be able to hold up, for this. Hey, Mr. Biles looked decent, but oh my God, did he blow that tackle just not wrapping? He looked decent, but
Mr. Biles is wild. That's insane. Oh my gosh. Yeah. And you know what? You're right. Just to quickly speak on Brisker, I agree. I'm glad they're protecting him, but it does beg the question of like what's actually going on with him and what is the plan? Because if you're not coming back, are you going to be able to come back? What exactly is it that's going on that's having them feel like they need to continue to protect you? Because guys get concussions, and like you said, not to say that it doesn't have any effect, or not saying I want them to go out there and risk their lives because it's not that serious. When it was going to affect your quality of life and things of that nature, but guys do go through concussion protocol. And so I wonder what it is that's not allowing him to successfully get through concussion protocol after all this time. And you're right, it does beg the question of when and if he will be able to come back and what that'll look like. Because I miss Brisker, man. And I know he does play tough. He plays hard. And I feel like whenever I'm seeing things in the past game going like they got it going on us today, to miss a piece like that, I'm always going to question, like, what would we be a little bit tougher with him out there? And I usually would think yes. So I definitely want to figure out what's going on with Brisker, man, because I feel like we're missing him out there. We're missing him out
oh
there.
yeah,
So.
we're missing him. There's no question about it. The other thing I'm going to say that that's Sweat. I still think Sweat has an enormous effect in his game record, but he's not quite having it. People have figured out how to get him a little bit out of this game from us. We need the other guy. We need a little more out of Sweat right now. We need a little more. He had a nice sack, but we really need a sack a game the rest of the way out. He's
Yeah.
got to lead us.
And man, I was hoping he was able to strip that ball out when he got that sack, because man, he didn't see him coming. But I think he knew it too, based on the way he responded after he got the sack. You could tell he wanted to get that ball out, but man, it was so close.
Yeah, and just more tackles in the run game. He's just not. He's not getting the tackles in the run game that he needs to get. So that's important. But I mean, I don't think in general our defense is our problem. We've had 3 games this year where we've given up more than 20, and no games where we've given up more. Well, 30 is our max, right? We didn't give up more than 30 before, did we?
What did the Cardinals do to us, man? They kicked our behinds.
They kicked our behinds, but doggone it, I don't think it was that bad.
It might not have, but we didn't score.
It felt terrible. It felt
we weren't
terrible.
Scoring anything against them, so you're right. It probably just seemed a lot worse because we weren't getting anything going.
Yeah. It felt terrible. They dropped 29 on us.
Right. I was about to say it was pretty close. I thought, okay.
Yeah. The fact is that we could only score 9 points. That's why
that was regulation. So I guess technically they did put a little more on us than this game because they got 27.
Yeah.
In
they
regulation.
dropped 29. So that was a bad loss. But in general, as a team, defensively, if you never give up more than 30, you're in every game. You should be. That Cardinals game was embarrassing because we weren't at all in it. It's just. But I'm just saying. I'm not saying giving up 30 is not good defense. Giving up 20 is decent defense. Giving up 10 is great defense. We have to get our swing back. And I know we're facing some of the toughest teams in the NFL. Our division is full of the toughest teams in the NFL. But we got to be able to stop these boys too. This is where we can be the Detroit of 2 years ago, where we're flashing as a team, where we're getting better, and everybody knows we're getting better because why are they in that game?
Right.
These guys are 4-7. Why are they in the game with the Vikings? They're 4-6. Why are they? Why does it take the last play for the Pack to win? Don't let us sneak one in. Look, this season, hang it up. It honestly, I don't want a super giant run on this season because what are we going to do? Go to the playoffs and get booted? We're not there yet. I'd rather we just have, like today, like last week against the Packers, good learning experiences where we learn how to fight like dogs and we know we're right there. That way, when we bring in some new dogs, which we need to on that offensive line, we need 3 picks, left tackle, guard, center. We need 3 picks. Number 1, number 2, number 2. And then with that next number 3, we need to go ahead and grab yet another edge, right?
I
I know
agree.
we're developing, we're built, but we got to keep pumping them in that pipeline until somebody bursts through, till somebody's equal. The tackles are looking a little better, but we're still stink against the run. So we got to just keep pumping it, keep filling it, keep filling it. But that 1, that 2, and that 2 got to be a left tackle, guard, and a center. Got to be,
Yeah.
has to be. We can't live without that. We can't. And that third, we might have to take a safety if Brisker's not with us. But I think if we take a first round left tackle high in the first round, we don't. What if we won out? We end up 10-7, and we sneak into the playoffs. But are we really good enough to do something? At this point, 4-7.
I
I'd
mean, but
rather
that's what I'm
finish.
saying. When you win games, you're good enough. When you're good enough to win games, we wouldn't be having this conversation. And
Right.
I guess that's what it is. That's what it comes to for me. But yeah, man, that's the disappointing thing, man. You know me. We went over the schedule at the beginning of the season or right before the season began. We called off games, and I was completely wrong, man, because I had us winning so many of these games that we're losing, and it's just heartbreaking, especially for the teams that we know are competitive, like our division,
Yeah.
and we're able to be competitive against them, but we lose to the Patriots, and it's just like, come on, man. And it's just like what you said. Yeah, granted, we can say, oh, you didn't recognize that you had this guy and he was not calling the right plays, and this wasn't the right guy. And then you bring this other guy up, and you have him doing it, and it looks a lot better. It's like, why don't you know this before the season goes down? Why don't you know this before we get to a point where it's like, okay, better luck next year type of attitude? Like, why can't we come into the season ready and prepared? I'm okay with
Or even
saying,
if
like you
you're
said,
making your adjustment, you're 4-6. You're 10 games in when you finally go. All right,
this
we
ain't
got to
working.
bail.
Right.
It's late. It's late. That's like, you know, what do you got? You got a situation where uh, uh, um, you you got to pay a credit card. Why are you gonna wait till after it's due? You know, why? Money's in the bank. Give them the money.
Right.
You're sitting here and you their first conversation about should we dump Waldron didn't come when we were 4-6.
Right.
They had conversations. Hey, the players came together early on after those 2 losses and said, whoa, dude, what are you calling out there?
Right.
Right? They came together. That was your sign there. You had to sit down and think, look, it's 4-2. This is our season. 4-3 out of fire. Because the players already told you this guy doesn't know what he's doing. And you got some serious vets coming from some really good organizations that are sitting down saying, hey man, this is not it. So it should have never got past 4-3. It
Yeah.
shouldn't. If they had bailed at 4-3, we might be looking at a completely different season. We still wouldn't be on top of the North, but we might be right in. Even with these 2 losses, we might be right in there. We could be, we could be 6-5. You know, man. But if you wake up, or 7-5, if you wake up, but you can't wait till you're 4-6 or 4-5. We were 4-5 when we finally let the guy go.
Right.
You let it go 2 games too long, because after the next really bad offensive output, when you came off of that bye week and nothing, man, take a hike. Take a hike. Because
Absolutely.
you knew you were considering doing it. You were just slow pulling the trigger. Even though that was fast for the Bears pulling the trigger, it was slow for the team because you put us in a position where it's too late. If you had fired, if you had fired him, um, back 2 games earlier, what was that? Before the Commanders game, um, you know, in or totally different world. The offense comes alive back there. Totally different world. That's just it's frustrating.
Just
It's
sad.
frustrating.
Absolutely frustrating.
You know what I'm saying? Um, what are you gonna do? You're looking at this and you're going, man, because here you come off the bye, against the Jags. Great game against the Jags. You come off of there, boom. You had the Commanders game was next. You lose to the Commanders, but you're like, man, what were you doing? The defense did their job. They stopped a team that's at the top of their division who's playing great football, and they kept them to 18. Right? Defense did their job. Offense stunk. You fire that guy there. We come out against the Cardinals and the Patriots. We at least get 1-1 out of that. It's a different season. Instead of coming out of that 4-6, we can come out of that 5-5. Now we're trending up already. Watch, the offense is going to look better next week. Last week we scored 19. This week we scored 27. Man, I don't know if we're going to score more points. The Lions are super dominant, but I think we're going to do better than we did these 2 weeks. The offense is growing finally. So
Yeah, I agree.
that's all I
And
got.
that's the hard part, man, because I hate to go into these games with the less than optimistic attitude to be like, oh, because teams didn't have. I mean, coming off those 3 games after the bye, guys didn't have us slated to be able to beat the Packers. They thought the Packers would whoop us. They thought the Vikings would whoop us. And these are games that we showed we were in them. The thing that I can say that I loved about today was, like you were saying, the heart they showed, man. To see that last drive down the field, and then to get the onside kick, that was beautiful. That was
Great
beautiful. I'm not gonna
onside
lie. We
kick.
don't, and it's also what makes these losses so hard to stomach, because it's like that's the attitude that winners are made of. When it's like, oh, you need something to happen and you go out there and you make it happen. So to see them get to overtime and just completely revert back to the team that doesn't know how to win, it's like, bring those guys back from the end of that fourth quarter. I want to see them. I want to see them that know, and they're out there with a purpose. But you're right, man. I can't get down on them. I'm ready for it to all come together for us, because we're right there, and we're always right there. I just want to stop taking 2 steps back for every step forward that we take, because that seems to be the narrative on us. That seems to be what we're consistently doing, is taking 1 step forward and 2 steps backward.
Well, we got Thanksgiving Day. I hope we ain't the jive turkeys, but there's gonna be some turkey, some turducken out there, and we can't be the jive turkeys. But guess what? Here's the issue, and here's the problem. Detroit is a juggernaut at this point. Detroit is a juggernaut. They've scored 45 touchdowns this year.
Sheesh.
45 tutties. They are a juggernaut. They lead the league in scoring. We have to have our best defensive output. We have to remind them that we know how to beat them. And man, it's when you're the only thing our guys can play for is pride. That's it. I need a Montez to have a 2-sack game. I need to get him to get home twice. And we got to do something about the run, because Demo um, and Jamar Gibbs, they will wear us out. If they've been wearing teams out, man. The last week when they dropped the 50, they scored what? Their first three touchdowns were on the ground. We cannot let them come out the gate just dogging us on the ground. We have to play some football. We have to stop the run. And they're gonna run the ball, because right now our run defense isn't up to snuff. So we have to do something different.
Yeah.
And we got to get to the quarterback. We got to get to Goff. Goff is a sitting target. We got to get there. So how do you feel about this Detroit game? I'm afraid to ask.
I mean, you shouldn't be, man. You know me, and like I said, seeing us in these past games, I can't get down on these guys, man, because they show me flashes that keep me optimistic, and that's what hurts so much. Is because There's so much promise to take these tough losses. I don't think we last year Detroit was supposed to be better than us, and
Oh,
the, and we were, and they were, but we were competitive the first game. We beat them the second game. Well, I don't know if we were competitive the first game. I think the first game was kind of
we were. We were competitive until the fourth quarter where we just.
weren't right.
Oh my God, I don't know what happened. We just fell apart. Fell
But my
apart.
thing is, these guys show up to play, man. We have guys that play the game the right way. They don't go out there and lay down for teams just because they're supposed to be better than us, just because we're in the toughest division and we're the Bears. They don't go out there and lay down. So I'm riding with them, man. I'm always gonna ride with my Bears, even in the tough times, man. And I'm just hoping we get things together. But I'm taking us over Detroit. I'm taking us to show them up. I never, with everything I've seen this season, I've seen a lot of we've seen bad coaching, we've seen silly plays by players, and but I don't believe that we're just not good enough. I don't believe that. I don't believe that. Yeah, there's upgrades we need to make. I just don't believe that we're not good enough. And I believe that we can beat these guys and these teams in our division. Now, I'm not going to say that I'm putting any money on it. I'm not with how things have been going. I would be too afraid to make any kind of promises or bets. But I think we'll be competitive and we'll be good against Detroit. And I wouldn't be surprised if we come out with a win or if we're in the game with an opportunity to win, like we've been against the Pack and against the Vikings. I would not be surprised. That's actually what I'm expecting, is for us to have an opportunity to win that game. If we don't get it, I expect us to continue to be trending upward, especially on the offensive side of things. So hopefully the defense comes out with a chip on their shoulder and they can deliver one of the best performances, because Detroit is good. They have been putting up points, but that's what we do. That's what our defense is supposed to be all about, man. So hopefully these games of getting 30 put on their heads, ignite something in them, getting off the field on some of those third downs and come into play. You got to.
Heart. We got to have some heart. Defense got to get out there and play some football. I know they're a little banged up. They got to get out there and play some football. These guys, the guys all coming off the bench are pros. We got to get out there and play some football. And look, Detroit's mollywopping the league with names Montgomery, Allen, Vildor. These are names we know well.
Very well.
Right? They weren't good enough for us. I get tired of that.
Me too. And I don't know that Demo ever wasn't good enough for us. So
Yeah, they would. I don't know what I don't know what that was about. It wasn't about his quality of play.
Couldn't have been.
It wasn't. It wasn't. The book on his quality of play. No, it wasn't about his quality of play. Yeah, it's something else. But I'm Uncle.
I'm Nephew.
And we're talking Bears.
Bears.